Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'm feeling super chill right now in my backyard in Austin, Texas. I'm wishing everyone lots of love today, lots of joy, lots of peace, and lots of rest and replenishment. I want to share some really juicy details about the High Priestess Collective, and I want to take the time today to give you a sneak peek inside what the High Priestess Collective really is. So you may have noticed that I've been talking about this for the past couple weeks now, and I've been super excited to bring this vision to life. It literally feels like I have been in a birthing process. Like I've been pregnant with this creative idea, and now I have gone into labor and birthed this into the world. And I really do feel that close to this vision. So the High Priestess Collective is a transformational community of women all around the world who are ready and willing and inspired to step into even more of who they are, their power. And what I mean by that is these are women who are ready to become like radically self-expressed, who are ready to feel safe and at home in their bodies for good, which most of us don't know what that feels like. These are women who are ready to feel empowered by their sexuality and are ready to drop the guilt and shame and see that maybe that served them at one point, but it's no longer contributing to who they are as sexual and sensual beings in this world. Women who are ready to use their power, their creative power, their sexual power, their sensual power to create good in the world, to make positive shifts. This is who the High Priestess is. The High Priestess is a secure and confident woman who, by the way, doesn't have it all figured out. She has her stuff and she lets her stuff be there. That's the thing I really want to point out. The High Priestess is not this perfect, ethereal depiction of a woman that is untouchable or needless or wantless. In fact, she has needs and wants, and she knows what they are, and she's not afraid to speak them. She makes requests for her needs. She's sensual, she's sexual, she's fiery, she's gentle and loving and nurturing, and she won't take shit. Don't be mistaken. This High Priestess won't take shit. And so when something crosses her boundary, she's aware that there's a boundary, and she's willing to have the awkward or challenging conversation to say something about it to honor her boundary. And by doing so, she gives others permission to speak up authentically for themselves. Now, this is just a sneak peek into who the High Priestess is, but I've been studying this archetype for a while, and this is the woman I've always wanted to become. And I'm like, there's gotta be some representation of this powerful yet gentle being who is tapped into her femininity, who's also really connected to her masculinity, and uses this balance to create in the world. And so I have visioned up, I would say I was probably guided, but visioned up this idea of a collective for women who are really about doing that kind of exploration. They're about asking for help and getting supported. They're about contributing to and supporting others in their home, in their communities, in their lives. And that is what I believe is going to help us move this world forward into evolution, into higher consciousness. Because listen, guys, I mean, it looks like the world is in a shit show right now, and in many ways we are. However, there's so much shifting happening. What is going to help us make those shifts? When we think of shifts from a personal level, right? Do we make the changes we want to make by guilting ourselves out, by punishing ourselves, by shaming ourselves? Maybe, but that's not a sustainable way to make change. That's not how change lasts, and that's not what actually feels good for us as human organisms with feelings and emotions and an ego. And so the way to really make sustainable changes in the world is through love and compassion. And this is probably not news to you all, but how are we really putting this idea of love and compassion into practice, if that's what's really going to help us make these changes? Because to say it is one thing, but to actually be about it, to do it, is something completely different. So that's where this idea of the High Priestess Collective came to be. And I want to give you a sneak peek inside of what the collective looks like, right? Because up until now, it's this like really cool abstract idea of a group of like witchy women coming together and, casting love spells. But really, there's so much more practicality to it than that. So, what we're going to be doing in the High Priestess Collective is we're going to be meeting on a bi-weekly basis through Zoom. I'm absolutely ready to meet in person, but when the world opens up again, we will certainly have in-person retreats and meetups. For now, we're going to be meeting twice a week, every second and fourth Tuesday of the month on Zoom at 7 p.m. Central. And on these bi-weekly Zoom calls, I'm going to be leading meditations and embodiment activities. And that's going to open our call so we can all drop whatever was happening in our day, come into the call together, and really be there. Like really drop into our bodies, really feel present, really feel sensual and ready to take in and receive whatever the call and the other sisters bring to us. And so after we do that, I'll typically share a short teaching, 10, 15 minutes max, but I've been doing a lot of learning in my life, and I've learned so much that I know will contribute to the women in this collective. And these are things from how we're having conversations about sexual health with new partners, how we're talking about intimate details of our lives, how we're having conversations in times of conflict, and how we're navigating through that with loved ones, how we're balancing our own masculine and feminine energy, how we're working with our menstrual cycle to really support us throughout the month versus working against it, how we're having conversations around sexual desires and needs, how we relate to ourselves through body image and body shape. Like, these are all the things that are constantly on our minds. It's like 98% of our brain space is going to think about some of these things, yet it's happening in the background. And so why wouldn't there be a space to bring these things in the background to the foreground and to be witnessed by other women in things that feel really personal to us? I mean, think back to the last time you shared something really vulnerable with someone and they held you in that. And they were like, damn girl, tell me more. What was that like for you? And you were like, fuck, I feel so heard right now. It feels so good to just be seen and held. This person's not trying to fix me or change me or make me any different. And whether you've experienced that before or not, that's what this collective is here to create. A space for women to celebrate their wins, a space for women to talk about their challenges, a space for us to dreamweave together and share what it is we're creating in the world, and to make specific asks for help. Like, hey, listen, you guys, I'm working on a big project right now, and I really need someone to help me with PR. Does anyone know who can help me? I'm willing to do an exchange, or here's my budget, right? This is going to be a network of women who are about supporting one another and having the messy and meaningful conversations that make us who we are as humans and as women. And so that's the feel for this. And my vision is really, really big, and I cannot do it alone. Right? I have this vision of this sisterhood of women all around the world, like a mycelium mushroom network, right? Or like the internet. We're just all around the world, and we're planted, and through our online portals, our online our online portals, we're supporting each other, we're seeing each other, we're witnessing each other, and we're making shit happen. This is not only a place to be seen and witnessed, this is a place to take inspired action. And that is the perfect balance of masculine and feminine. Waiting for inspiration and intuition to strike, and then taking action on the thing that really lights us up, and knowing that we have support doing it. And if it's not somebody in the collective, then it's somebody who knows somebody that's in the collective. And we are changing the world systematically, one call, one text, one meeting at a time. And we're doing that because we're changing our internal landscape. And when we do the work to create the kind of landscape within that we want to see outside of us, then we are changing the world outside of us, because that is a mere reflection of who we are. So we have our bi-weekly calls on Zoom, and we also have a private WhatsApp group. And in this WhatsApp group, we are going to be having amazing conversations. So I've created a beautiful, beautiful way for us to stay really connected and focused in conversation. I myself know how overwhelming group chats can be, especially when the chat numbers grow to 100 plus women. So there's a beautiful organization system that keeps the feminine flair and also the masculine order and organization. So when you hop in as a woman, a part of the High Priestess Collective, when you hop into the WhatsApp group on a Monday, you're going to wake up to Motivation and Manifestation Mondays. And I'll be leading the chat every day with something inspiring to keep us, on our toes on Monday, inspired, feeling connected to the magic all around us. In fact, I should call it Magical Mondays. I might change it. Real-time breakthrough. And these are ways for us to motivate and inspire each other, right? I don't imagine that this collective has me at the center. If anything, I'm creating this collective so that it's a self-sustaining organism of all of us women who are a part of it. And as the organism ebbs and flows and shifts, so too will the collective. Now, when you hop into the WhatsApp chat on Tuesdays, you're going to see Tools and Tips Tuesdays. And these are going to be some of the most powerful practices, tools, tips that I have garnered along the way, that I've used with countless clients, that I've used in my own life. And of course, these chats are going to be open for the women a part of the collective to be sharing the same kinds of things, the things that have really worked for them. Because we know if they're tested and tried, then they're vetted already. We don't have to go and experiment with a new tool. Somebody's used it and is sending it our way. On Wednesdays, we're going to be doing Get Weird Wednesdays, which I'm super excited for. And this is going to be a really, really exciting time for us to just fucking get weird together. Like, we all have these weird quirks and nuances about us that are things we don't typically share with others. For example, I'll give you one real quick. One of my weird quirks is that I have this other part of my personality, and she's a Jewish New Yorker. I call her Ethel, and sometimes she'll tell you that you got a little schmutz on your face and you got to wipe it off. And she's a real firecracker, if you know what I mean. But this part of my personality doesn't come out really often. So this is something that in the WhatsApp group I might post. I might post a video of this alter ego of mine, Ethel, on Get Weird Wednesdays. You know what I mean? And that's just a part of it. And then it allows that part of my personality to be seen. I get to express in a new, weird, creative way. Or maybe if dancing feels like an edge for me, on Get Weird Wednesdays, I'll post a video of me dancing or a video of me making weird sounds. Like, it's just a place to normalize and be witnessed in the things that are like awesome quirks about our personality that we want to share. And it's a great way to feel expressed and like you don't give a shit because nobody cares. Nobody's judging you, And on Thursdays in the chat, we're going to be doing Dream Weaving Thursdays. And this is a place where the women are going to enter into the chat like a really specific vision of their dream, whether that's via text, video, or audio. And we're all going to set a collective intention throughout the Thursday to help each other create that. Whether that means like, hey, girl, I just watched the video and I saw that you needed someone to help you with marketing. I got the perfect woman for you. I used her last year. She's amazing and she's going to give you a great discount. Whatever, right? Because the more we speak our dreams, the more we give voice to them, the more we're making them real. We are using sound vibration to make the vision real. And when we have a bunch of other women in the community seeing that and acknowledging that dream is so, it makes it even more real. It's like if I went around and told a bunch of people I was a doctor, the more and more I told people would just introduce me as Lee, the doctor. I'm not a fucking doctor. But the more I say that, the more I enroll people into the possibility that I'm a doctor, the more that becomes real for people. And so that's what we're doing in Dream Weaving. We're saying, hey, here's what I'm creating today. I'm so excited for it. I'm creating my perfect business. I'm creating the perfect partner that I'm calling in. Here's what he looks like. Here's how I feel around him. And I'm asking for you sisters to help me call him in. And that's the chat on Thursdays. And then on Fridays, we're going to be getting into some Freaky Fridays. And I really mean it. This is going to be a place for us to share our fantasies, our kinks, our desires, maybe the things we felt ashamed about, sexually, sensually, as beings who have needs and wants and desires and fantasies, we're going to use this as a place to start to talk about the things that we never talk about because they've been so taboo, like the fantasy we have of sex in public, or the fantasy we have of a threesome, or the shame we have over having had sex with someone that we didn't want to have sex with last week. Whatever it is, there's a place on Fridays in the chat to voice those things and to be witnessed and held, and to have someone send you resources, or to have someone be like, hey girl, let's connect outside because I want to talk to you about that. I went through the same thing. Or, hey, I'd love to hear your perspective on this. And then Saturdays are going to be for Self-Pleasure Saturdays. And this is going to be for us to share whatever we're tapping into that brings us pleasure. Could be sexual self-pleasure, could be going to the beach or sitting out in the backyard reading a book. But really sharing and being witnessed in the things that bring us pleasure, and being encouraged to call in your pleasure, and knowing that you deserve and are worthy of pleasure, and you don't have to do anything to earn it. And we get to celebrate each other in our pleasure. And then on Sundays in our WhatsApp chat, we're going to be talking self-care Sundays. So that'll be an optional day for you to take off and not be connected to technology or the collective at all, and really take time for yourself. And it can also be a place to share self-care and what you're doing or what you might need support with. And so that's what this WhatsApp group is going to look like. And on our bi-weekly Zoom calls, like I shared, we're going to be going through some meditation and embodiment activities. I'll be doing a little bit of teaching. And then the rest of the call time is going to be used for live Q&A, for hot seat coaching. So you'll get to be coached by me personally. And we're going to use that time also because I'm going to bring in some badass guest experts to these calls. Special shout out to Joe Encarnacion at GoFitJoe, Stephanie Bellinger at The Spiritual Boss Babe, Sophie Quist at She Talks Health, and so many more badass babes I'm going to be bringing into the collective monthly to share their area of expertise and their resources and their network with you. And so this is going to be a growing, thriving, breathing, ever-evolving network of women, and I'm so excited for it. And I'm pumped too because I'm going to be creating a directory of women. So there's going to be an ongoing directory of women with their headshots, their bios, what they're asking for, what they're looking to create, and what they need support with, what they're giving and contributing, so that anytime you go to that directory, you're going to know exactly who can support you and who you can support and who you want to connect with outside of the collective. And then we're going to be doing sister spotlights as well. And that's going to be a place for you to be seen, my sister. And if that's something that feels exciting for you, awesome, like bring it. And if it feels edgy for you, that's great too, because this is going to be a place where you get to receive support and blessings and amplified intentions and a lot of love and care. And we don't often know or allow ourselves to know what it feels like to receive. And so this is totally a place for you to receive as well when we do sister spotlights. Of course, we're going to be constantly sharing gratitudes and really pumping up the energy of what it's like to already have what we want, and to call that in now and to be in that vibration of having what we want and being fucking excited about it. Like having that dream partner already here and feeling so whole and sovereign and complete that whether he's here tomorrow or next year, you don't give a shit because you feel so good about where you are. And oh my God, you guys, I'm so freaking excited. I just thought of this idea the other day. So many women are constantly wondering what it's like to be in a man's head. Like, what the fuck are men thinking? What do they think about? What makes their brains tick? And so as a part of the collective, I've selected 3 really awesome conscious men. Ladies, these are men that you would want to have as your partner any day. I'm going to bring them into the collective for one of our calls, and we're going to have an Ask Me Anything session where you get to ask them anything. Nothing is off the table. You can ask them about sex, you can ask them about dating, you can ask them about their love lives, you can ask them about what their thoughts are on a certain topic, and you can get direct feedback real time, straight from a conscious man's mouth, and you can know exactly what it's like. And you can ask how to call in your perfect partner. If that's something you're doing, you can ask how to deal with something in your current relationship. I'm really, really excited about that. I've hand selected these men, and these are men that are some of my dearest friends, and one of them is my partner. And they are men who have really done their work. And now I am handing them off to you so that you can pick their brain and see what it's like to be inside of a man's mind. So I'm really, really excited for that as well. And I just, I want to share from my heart the vision for this collective. I really, whether this collective starts with 3 women, 5 women, 50 women, I have no attachment to it. I will serve the hell out of however many people show up. I'm just fucking excited to be doing this, to be honest. I'm excited to be expressing. I'm excited to be sharing. I'm excited to share spoken word, to share my sexual desires and kinks, to share the things I have felt ashamed of that I've never told anyone before, and to be held and supported. So this is as much for me as it is for everyone else, if I'm being honest. And my vision for this is fucking huge. It's huge. Like, I imagine this in 6 months to a year's time being a network of thousands of women across the world who are coming together on these bi-weekly calls to explore and go deep and open up layers of themselves that maybe they've never felt safe to open up before, to share and celebrate each other. Every time, I intend for you to leave the call feeling more deeply connected to yourself, more deeply to the women in the collective, feeling connected to the women in the collective, feeling energized, feeling in touch with your emotions, feeling expanded, feeling like you belong, like you're safe, like you're welcome somewhere, and you can be yourself. You're welcome because you are absolutely and completely who you are in that moment, with your emotions, your thoughts, your desires, your dreams, your fears, your traumas, whatever the fuck it is. That's my vision for this. And I imagine that eventually we're going to have subcommittees of all of these special areas and interests where women are just going to take it and run like the wind on special projects like legalizing psychedelics or bringing menstrual education to young girls in schools. Whatever you women are dreaming up is going to be something that is supported by the collective. And this is a co-creative effort. And so this is what the High Priestess Collective is all about. This is not just my thing. I want to make that clear. Whoever comes together in this is going to be a creation, a living, breathing organism that's growing and blossoming and dividing like a living cell all the time. I'm going to be bringing my very best practices from all of the women's groups I've been a part of, all of the groups I've led, all of the coaching I've done, to give you my very best of tools, practices, mindsets, inspiration, epic amounts of space and unconditional love and acceptance, really epic coaching, and all the support you need to live the life of your dreams, because you are already the woman you want to be. It's just about remembering that you have everything you need already. This is going to be a space for you to discover that and for you to own that. And so from my heart to yours, all my sisters out there, and if any brothers are watching this, I'm sending some love to you too, because you absolutely are worthy of amazing spaces like this. And my ask of you all today, for those who are watching, is if this resonates for you, please join the collective. You can join by going to the link in my bio, or you can go to leenoto.com /HPC, leenoto.com /HPC, which stands for High Priestess Collective. And if this is not for you, but you know a woman that this would be a really great fit for, please share this with her. I invite women to join, and I want to make this a worldwide movement. Like, ladies, we're gonna fucking change the world. It's about time for some divine feminine energy to help balance the masculine, to help nurture the masculine. The masculine's a little tired, the masculine within us, the masculine in our collective. And it's time for us to step up and take some leadership. And that's what we're here to do, to nurture our planet and love our planet and each other and everyone in it back to optimal health and wellness. So please, please, please share this video out if this resonates for you or for someone you know. I'm really excited to see you all in there. Our first call is going to be on Tuesday, August 25th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll be doing them bi-weekly from there on out. Every second and fourth Tuesday, we'll have a private WhatsApp group. I'm going to be throwing in plenty of juicy bonuses with guest experts, with tons of resources and practices that you can take with you. Ladies, you're going to have access to a private online portal where we're going to store the recordings for all of our calls. So if you miss one, you'll always have access to it. There's going to be a directory of all the women in the collective so that you can get supported and you can support each other. And we're going to have plenty of extra bonus workshops and sessions for your specific areas of interest. So as you enter the collective, I'm going to find out what you want to see. This is a co-creative effort, like I said, and we're going to create offerings specifically tailored for you, your wants, your desires, your needs, so that this can be a collective that really helps you rock your world and helps us change the world around us. So with that, I want to send you all so much love and good vibes. I cannot fucking wait to see you sisters in there. It's going to be a life-changing event. I love you. Peace.